Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Shaboque. I apologize, guys, that I haven't been posting as regularly, but we have been hard at work on our projects this summer. Today, I finally get to show you guys the results of all the hard work on the workshop. We started construction on the workshop in November of last year. We have officially reached one of the milestones and completed the exterior. While there is more to do on the exterior and the grounds around it, and definitely on the interior, we're going to have to put a pause on the workshop construction to take care of a few other projects around the property. The good part is the workshop is up and functioning, and I can use it to get these other projects done more quickly now. Anyways, before I show you guys the results on the workshop, you know what to do. Go grab your favorite beverage and even maybe a snack too. Sit back, relax, and let's get started. We have a lot to get to in this episode, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is get that roll-up garage door installed. We purchased this thing quite a while ago before most of the walls were even up on this shop, so I wanted to buy a door that would give me the biggest amount of room possible. Well, little did I know that I was going to leave myself very, very little room for tolerance on this installation. I'm using some of my tie-down straps to my trailer to act as temporary hangers to get the garage door off the ground and start to position it into place. Initially, I thought I'd have to ratchet them up, but this door isn't quite as heavy as it seems. It's more awkward than anything, so after ratcheting it a few times, decided to skip that a little bit and just lift it up and adjust the straps to the height that they needed to go. Slowly but surely, it keeps going up. Has to go all the way up above that opening there. The real fun begins now. Cue the Wrestling with Garage Door Challenge. Inspector Pease came over to check out what was going on and give me some positive reinforcement that we were going to be able to pull this off, because the director sure didn't believe we could. Alright, time for the straps to come off. The door is officially hanging up there by itself. The wrap is off. Time to guide the door down the rails. Alright, success. Door officially down, and the inspector director is here. Can't believe her eyes that this thing actually fit. I tighten the spring off camera, and here's the result. Smooth like butter. Very nice. How many thumbs up do we give it? 2 thumbs up. Next up on the agenda is going to be installing the soffit all the way around the shop. Going to start here on the north side. First thing I have to do is trim all of the siding here to allow the slats to slip in just above them. Old multi-tool comes out for this job, and a pencil, and just slowly work my way around cutting each of these off. Time to cut the first piece of soffit. I'm happy to be finally closing these eaves up. I spent the summer knocking birds' nests out of them. I would knock one out, and the next day there was another one to replace it. Whoa, careful there. Using a router can be a dangerous job, but it does such a darn nice job of flush trimming wood to make everything fit nice and neat. Sorry ladies, this guy is already taken. One down, 3 to go. Before I could install the soffit on the back side of the roof here, I needed to trim it just a little bit so that the boards would lay flat. Now I'm going to saw up the boards. It'll be the first row of the soffit. Is right about here you'll start seeing the rain starting to come down. And before you know it, it was time to take a little break. A few minutes later it cleared up and it's time to get back to work again. Bringing in the router to trim everything up nice and neat. Another side complete and time to move on. Again, starting the same process I did on the north side, where I'm using my multi-tool to cut out that first little top edge of the siding. The sides are really easy because it only takes one board width to cover them. And just like that, the south side is done. Time for a break. This is just my friendly reminder to Pepsi, and I'm still waiting for a phone call. That's right, this guy right here could be your new spokesman. Thought of that? Time to tackle the front side. Gonna get some wood cut up here so we can start, just like we've did the rest of them, along the inside edge. Nice pretty pieces of cedar. Here's a quick glimpse of my tensioning tool. Presses the boards nice and tight up against each other. Last board of the fascia going in, and then I'll get my router out and clean up the edge, just like we've did on all the rest. Woodworking is a dangerous job. I angled my ladder way further than normal so I could get my router to go underneath it on the pass instead of having to stop when I hit the edge. And with that, the soffit is officially complete. And now for one of the jobs I've been dreading for a long time on this project, I'm going to be installing those edge trim pieces that look like fake 6x6s on each corner of the shop. I knew it was going to be a pretty intricate process, and it sure was. I'm using 6-inch wide, 1-inch thick material to do this, and the first thing I need to do is place them up against the shop trace the edge of it to see exactly where it's going to line up along the siding, and then use my multi-tool to cut all of the siding off there, get my crowbar out, pop off each piece, and then I can install the trim. Here's the other half of the trim. I need to do the same thing as you just saw before I can put them up. And here it comes. Oh yeah, look at that fit. Back to the router for some edge cleanup work. Here's the big reveal. I'm pretty proud of these. They turned out real nice, especially if you don't stand up too close to them. And here is the opposite side all done. Now for the most difficult one. But before that, I had to deal with a little situation. Well, my little hunter-killer nabbed herself a little baby rabbit. I arrived too late on scene to stop it, and she had already finished the little guy off. So he got himself a nice little headstone at the south side of our yard. Back to marking and trimming the siding off. The director came out and took on the project of sanding the front door to the shop. This was not an easy project, let me tell you. There's a lot of old paint on there, and it was hot outside, so it took her quite a while to get this thing all sanded up, and man, it looked so good when she was done. Test fitting all the trim on there and getting all my measurements and markings where everything needs to be dialed in. A few more special cuts here. And time to nail it in. Now the front one goes in as well. Time to break out the old orbital sander, make everything look nice and pretty. But the main thing it does, it hides all my mistakes. So you can see I have the top half of that post done. Let's go ahead and get the bottom half put in there too. There we go. And now a little more sanding, and we can move on to the next part of this project. Alright, here comes the cedar fascia boards. These are going to be really easy to knock out. I'm able to cut the wood the exact same width as the rafters, so they go on nice and easy with one single board. You never know what you're going to catch on film. Alright, switching around to the north side. I'm going to knock this one out and then save the front for last. Here goes the last piece of fascia going up. And then we're going to spin around to the south side. And then we're going to attach the roof edge on there. This stuff is a pain because if you hit it too hard, it bends it. If you don't hit it hard enough, the nail doesn't want to go in. So you can see me struggling a bit here. Have to get out the old needle nose and vice grips and really give it to it with the hammer until it starts to bite, and then go real gentle so I don't damage anything. Rinse and repeat a whole bunch. Now up on top, I'm screwing in the front roof edge. I miscalculated how many pieces of this I was going to need. I was one piece short. You'll see here that there's a little piece that I have to use to patch in to finish this top. I didn't like it right here. I don't like how it comes together. Short piece, little wiggle. I'm gonna fix that later. Moving on, I'm going to start putting in the final trim pieces. The first set is going to be the ones trimming around the garage door. I'm going to start with the top piece, then I'm going to add 2 side pieces, and then I'm going to put a little crown piece over the top to kind of hide that reveal right there. Here's the garage door fully trimmed out. And as sure as we get one thing done, it's time to get right on to the next one. On both sides of the garage door, it's time to put the tent in. Like wait a minute, wrong direction. Yeah, that's what I meant, like a glove. I really don't like putting screws into corrugated metal. I just struggle with getting these things to go in the first time. Now up on the to-do list, the director has really had it out for this little piece of wood sticking out down here, so off with its head. It about got me. Even though the director is going to say you didn't get the one on the south, here's the result. Another honeydew here is trimming off these boards. Square pencil and a multi-tool will make real quick work of this little project. Nice. That is acceptable. Now let's do it again. Alright, with all of that done, it's time to do some final sanding touches here. Gotta get this thing all prepped for the grand finale. Alright, we have one last thing to do before we put the stain on, and that's to trim out the front door here. This one really fought me right here. Took a lot of tries of tweaking and tweaking to get this piece of trim to fit just right. But in the end, I won. Last thing to do is put on this little piece of crown strip to hide the reveal above the doorway. It'll also match above what the garage doors have. I told you guys earlier that I didn't like the way that the flashing along the top of the roof was, so here's what the new piece put in, and I like it a lot better now. And with that, the outside of this shop, it's complete. Well, it's not complete, but it's as complete as it's going to get for now. Next up, though, is getting all the stain on. This is the really important part. This cedar wants to turn bad, ugly gray colors on you so quickly. We've experimented with different types of finishes on this cedar. On the prior projects, we used a spar urethane. On this particular project, we decided to switch and try something different. The reason we're switching is the spar urethane degrades really rapidly in direct sunlight. And since all of these outbuildings are in direct sunlight, we've noticed that it caused that urethane to really start to come apart after about 1.5 years. After doing a bunch of research, I found that Ready Seal is a really good alternative. It works really good with cedar, works really good for outbuildings, and like I said earlier, its coverage ability is really good. It has the ability to fill in cracks, make it to where you don't have any kind of runs, which with spar urethane, runs are absolutely terrible and happen all the time. So, gonna give this a shot. We'll see how it goes. I found that using my spray bottle was the best way of applying it. I would fill up my bottle, put about 20 good pumps into it, and then start spraying it on. I was doing small sections at a time because it was so excruciatingly hot out today that I was having to work in these little sections in order to get everything worked into the cracks before it dried. The stain goes on in a real reddish hue while it's still wet. It took about roughly 2 weeks for it to dry completely, and now has a much more light, natural cedar tan color to it. It was my goal to stain the entire shop in one day because I wanted to make sure that first off it didn't rain in between. Secondarily, I wanted to make sure it all went on the same day so that the color would all look the same. If I did it on different days, there could be some kind of a variance on how the wood dries and then give some kind of a different change in color. And I didn't want that to happen, so I knew this was going to be a long day, and boy did I pick an absolutely terrible day for it. It was probably high 90s, probably 65% humidity, and just absolutely terribly hot outside. It was brutal, but it was probably a great day to put it on because it really allowed the sun to bake that stain into the wood. Okay, this is it. The very last thing to do to get the outside of the shop completed. I was absolutely exhausted at this point. The sunlight was just relentless. I wanted nothing to do but to finish this and get it over with and go take a nice cold shower and get out of the heat. But fortunately, I think all the time and pain was worth it. But I'll let you decide for yourself. Well, what do you think? I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But you know how things go with us. This is only just the beginning. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.